podcast. I'm your host, Sierra Bryant.
And I'm Corinne Jones.
And we have the dopest, the dopest with us today. Please, Mr. Don Bucks, tell the people who you are. Introduce yourself to the world, to our platform. We are so happy to have you here, and we're going to have a great conversation. Look at his hat. Already.
Hey, now, before I get started, this hat, this white dude was like, "Hey, what's up with your hat?" DOPE stands for Dominating on Purpose Every Day. I ran to this young man at the Invest Fest in Atlanta, and I had to have it. I just had to have it. But I'm Don Bucks, host of Creative Rappin Dough, the dopest, like she said, financial literacy platform on the internet. But we'll get into my story. But yeah, that's who I be.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We are so geeked up to have you here on Womenomics. You know, our podcast is all about soul care for entrepreneurs. And we always have to start off with our famous question.
Let's get it.
When did you know you could be an entrepreneur?
Ooh, when did I know I could be an entrepreneur? I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. That question, you know, when you're in grade school, what do you want to be when you grow up? I always said I wanted to own a nightclub. Ain't that some shit? I was in third grade. I said I wanted to own a nightclub. I don't know what was my fascination about nightclubs at 9, 10 years old, but I always knew I was going to own some shit. On top of that, my dad is an entrepreneur. So I've been in the family business going on 30 years. So, you know, from third grade, I knew I was going to be an entrepreneur, but pretty much my dad solidified that when I stepped into the family business. So yeah, it's been a long time. Like, I don't even know why, but go ahead. I don't even know why, but go ahead.
I was going to say, some people at that age would just have a fantasy about being in a nightclub.
Right.
You said, nah, I'm going to own a nightclub.
I wanted to own it. Like, I don't even know why.
I love that.
Yeah, early.
Nah, that's dope. Can you, just because you spoke a little bit, very briefly, about your dad and the family business, break that down for us. I'm always so fascinated when we speak to entrepreneurs and they talk about how, you know, their parents were one, or they had very close contact to see what that lifestyle was kind of growing up. Whereas a lot of us, our parents, maybe were in a traditional 9-to-5 and kind of instilled that in us, as well as college in a more traditional track. So being that you already started off in an entrepreneurial family, talk a little bit about the family business and how you think that has, you know, contributed to where you are today.
Ooh, well, my mother is a nurse. So I came up the first half of my life with her, seeing her in a 9-to-5, and that dynamic. Proximity definitely plays a part. Like I always say, shout out to the entrepreneurial parents, because I believe they give off a different aura in the house. They give off a different vibe, period. Because one thing I learned from my dad is being self-sufficient. Because in the haircut industry, there is no guaranteed check at the end of your 2 weeks. So I learned early how to be self-sufficient, how to go out and acquire customers. Because if you didn't, of course, my dad already had a nice sized clientele, but he could pass them off to me. But if I wanted to establish my own clientele like he did, I had to go do what he did, like go outside, go to lunch with your barber jacket on, different things like that. Being likable. Like it's one thing, okay, you can know how to cut hair, but if don't nobody like you, dude, like you ain't gonna have too many people in your chair, and if you do, they're not gonna be consistent or stay around. So that aspect of being in business, like being likable, right? And yes, I believe, you know, entrepreneurial parents definitely help instill that go-gettitiveness, that power that you have, because no one is controlling your money but you're controlling it. So if you want to make more money, it's in your hands. So the weight of that, I don't believe I realized the weight of that at 14 years old. Because those that don't know, I'm 44.
Look good. Black don't crack, damn
I
it.
know that's right.
44. Because people be thinking I'm some young boy, you feel me? But
I do think
there's
that.
nothing wrong with looking young. But I'm 44, I'm an OG out here. You feel me? So like I said, it's been going on 30 years. I've been dabbling in the hair industry, not dabbling, actually cutting hair. But these past, the pandemic changed a lot of things for a lot of people. Actually, you know what, Michelle, she has this same type of thought process, being a go-getter, because the ball is in your court. You can't go to HR and talk about how you check wrong, because she grew up in an entrepreneurial household as well. So if you know how Michelle coming, now you haven't interviewed her yet. Now you know her parents had a daycare, and she was in there 6 in the morning, late at night. Like, she know the aspects of being in business from her parents.
For
So
those who
it's
don't know
a different
Michelle,
vibe.
for those who don't know Michelle, she's Michelle Welch. She's very
Yes.
prominent on social media. She is the queen of productivity. She
Shout
believes
out to
in if you
Michelle.
master your minute, you can master millions.
That's
Shout out to
their
her.
tag. Master your minutes, master your millions. It's a fact. So she came up in that same environment. So it's I encourage that. If you're a parent, I encourage you to get some power so you can pass that power, that proverbial power, off to your kids.
I love that. I love that because a lot of kids don't have entrepreneurial parents. They have parents that have jobs and are hardworking. And so if they have the desire to own something, it's kind of stepping outside of what seems to be natural. So you're
Another
going
hurdle.
against it. Yeah, you're going against the grain. You're going against the expectations of what success looks like. So for you, because you had an example of that, what has been the difference in mindset that you've noticed with peers or other entrepreneurs around you that made it easier or just different for you?
What have I noticed from my peers that made it?
A mindset, like what's the difference in the mindset that you have had as an entrepreneur versus your peers, those who have businesses or not?
It's like the mastermind, like environment is key. I've always been a kind of an oddball in that degree. Because, people I know, went to school with, people hair I cut, most of them some of them I went to school with. So people know me from high school, from the streets, from the barbershop. So they know that's my dad over there. Like, they know that this is my upbringing. So I always kind of been like, oh, you got your dad, because in the ghetto, not many of us have our dad, let alone a productive dad, let alone a business owner dad. So I'm like a unicorn in this motherfucker. You hear me? So I always been that. You understand me? Like, that's always been my position in life, being in the hood, but people always knowing or thinking that everything I have, and there's nothing wrong with that, because if you're put in this position, sometimes you may be put in a spot where you're trying to defend the success that your parents put in position for you. How ill is that? Yeah. When is we supposed to be, this is what we're supposed to be aspiring to, but when you're an oddball with this type of life, and it's not even like you're not even Donald Trump's son or nothing like that. It's just the fact that you have your dad and y'all have a business, you're put in this space, whereas though people look at you different, as like, oh, you got all this because of your dad, and there's nothing wrong. What's wrong with that? How do you diss that? If even if that is the case, let's say everything I did have was from my dad. Let's just hypothetically say that is the case. What's wrong with that? Ain't that what some other people be doing? Ain't that how they got where they at? Ain't that how we marvel at what they have is because they put their kids in position. So, and that they've been doing that for generations. They put their kids in position. They put their kids in position. That's why they have what they have. But when we start doing it, we're so far behind that when we do see somebody that has that situation going on, you'll make them feel bad for it. Oh, you got your dad. What kind of diss is that? Like, really? Like, think about that. What kind of diss is that? I was just having this conversation about the inner city school system, the public school system. Because I went to Catholic school, parochial school, private school from 1st to 8th grade. Right? And I got kicked out in my 8th grade year. Like I slid down a razor blade to the alcohol river after that. Yeah. That began my public school tenure. And when I tell you the difference in the education, you gotta take into consideration. I'm in private school for 8 years, from 1st to 8th grade. That's all I know. And then it was like a shock to the system. Vastly different. Whereas though on one side, education is expected of you. Like you're expected to do your homework. And if you didn't do your homework, it was repercussions. And if it wasn't from your parents, you was lining up on that chalkboard and you was getting your ass whacked with a paddle. There ain't too many mornings you want to go through that in front of your class because the other kids doing their homework. So now the peer pressure is to do your homework. The peer pressure is to be smart because you don't want to be the oddball. Now, put yourself in the public school system, it's the opposite. It's 2, 3, maybe 4 people out of 30 that want to learn. The other 27 is disrupting the class in some way, shape, or form. So now you're an oddball if you want to learn instead of being an oddball if you're not learning. So instead of being the oddball, you don't want to be the oddball, just like on the other side. So now you're going to shift over to the disrupting group because you don't want to be the oddball that's learning.
No,
that is the dynamic of the public school system. And then you have the teacher that's trying to teach them 3 or 4. And that's hard as shit because she got her life on the line damn near. Niggas gang banging. Niggas throwing up sets. And she trying to teach algebra. Imagine that.
Right.
And then you don't want to, like, let's say you are the little smart kid in the front. You don't want to turn around like, hey, you might get anything after school. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that is what the kids are experiencing in public school. That's why environment is key. You dropped the mic on that one.
Nah, you definitely dropped the mic on that one because you brought it back to helping people understand really where it starts from and like how that grows into your adulthood, that how that affects, your decisions as you get older. And people don't really think about it like that. They don't contribute, those kind of situations that they were in as to where they are now. It's just like, oh, it's always been like this, or I'm no good, or, we just kind of like that subconscious really like starts to kick in. And then we really get removed from, our greatness, our potential, everything that we have inside of us that, we haven't been in environments for them to be nurtured, essentially.
Right.
But one of the big things that I love that you was just talking about was when you're talking about environment as an adult, what are some maybe like examples or places that people can reach out and find better, healthier, more productive like environments for themselves in their adulthood? Because I'm sure there's, you know, there's people out here in the world that's like, I want to do this. Like, I want to do something different. I want to be an entrepreneur. I just don't know what to do. I just don't know. Like, all my friends laugh at me. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't really know how to find my way. What suggestions would you give them for people who are looking to find their way as an adult?
You really have to want it. And for me, you got to show me. Because, you know, people say a lot all the time, but I know what actions I know what energy I brought to my own table in order to get the things done that I got done, that I'm getting done. And that took a lot of action. It's taking a lot of action. I'm always doing something. You know what I'm saying? So you have to actively pursue it. Like, I didn't just trip on Ty Cap. I went looking. And ain't like I seek the imp. So if someone says, yo, I want to do XYZ, all right, my next question is what you been doing? What moves you been making? Cause me, now that I can come outside freely after my little situation, I done started to look for healthier activities. I like purposely. So you have to be on purpose. So I said, you know what? I'm a goal writer and stuff. And, you know, one of my goals is to get a 6-pack. Because I never had a 6-pack. Maybe I had a 4-pack in high school, something crazy. Nothing crazy. But I said, I want a real 6-pack. I want it. So I started looking for healthy activities besides my working out that I do at home. I'm like, what else could I do? So I forgot what book I was reading. It was like, write down a few things that you used to enjoy when you was a kid that you haven't done in a while. So one of those things was I used to play sports. I played football, basketball, and baseball. Ain't played none of them shit. So I said, you know what? I'm about to start hitting the court. So every day I started going to play basketball. So that added to my cardio, part of my workout. Another thing, I just say, you know what? I always wanted to master roller skating. So I started looking up roller skating lessons. So now you can catch me on the basketball court at the skating rink. And there's no drinks there. Right? It's a healthier environment. People are here learning and sharing and having a good time, being healthy. So I believe one has to, if they say they want something, they have to start taking necessary steps, purposeful steps towards whatever it is they're trying to get around and learn. And sometimes it's going to cost a couple dollars, but it's an investment. It's going to cost you some investment dollars. All right. So the mastermind, right? That costs monthly to be there. But I'd rather pay that whatever it is a month to get around like-minded people on purpose than spend that $20 doing something on something that's not going to move my needle. So I believe people need to just purposefully, because that could be whatever that is, could be, I don't want to give anything specific because whatever on purpose is different for everybody. It's different. So I'm just giving them a general, be on purpose with whatever it is that you're trying to learn or get around. Like, go towards it. Pay the little $10, $20, $30 or whatever it is, because a lot of people don't be wanting to spend no money. And it's an investment. It's not even spending money. You're investing it. You know? So we like to hold on to the little bit of shit we got. We ain't got no room to get anything because hands is closed.
Ooh,
so
that's a bar.
Bar,
That's
bar
a bar.
alert.
Hey,
Bar alert. But yeah, like that's literally what it is. You holding on. It's not even that much in there.
Right.
You scared to let go a little bit, and you can't even receive. So people won't even spend $10-20 to be around like $1 million worth of game.
That's it.
You holding on to $10 and you missing out on $1 million worth of game.
Wow.
So
wow.
It's that part. Like we have to stop being so tight with a little bit of stuff, like, and start looking at everything as well, not look at everything, but look at things that you're doing as investments. And maybe you look at it a little different. So purposefully go towards what you're trying to get around.
I love that.
Wow.
That was a long-winded answer.
No,
but
that's good. That makes me ask you. I want you to talk a little bit about abundance, because as an entrepreneur, a lot of us, and when we talk about reinvesting, we want to flip our money by putting it into things that's going to give us some bigger outcomes. That's the whole premise, right? And so even in doing that, even having an understanding about reinvesting, some of us are broke. Like we don't have it, right? So how do you continue? How do you have a long-term mindset of abundance when the outlook sometimes feel bleak? I want to know what your thought pattern is about that, because a lot of businesses fail in the first year because it's difficult. They don't know how to stay in the game, and because they don't have it today, but they're reinvesting and they're trying to get there and they don't. And so because they can't see the promised land yet, they quit. So I know the difference between sticking it out versus quitting is all what's going on in here. And so it's also how you see and define abundance. So could you talk a little bit about that?
I don't know if y'all ready for my answer.
I'm ready.
Wow. So abundance. I'm a believer, right? So I believe that whatever you believe and seen is coming. I mean, that's oversimplified. One example that in which we had to put that in motion, me and my dad, was when we had relocated. Because my dad, when I came into the game at 14 going on 15, or was I 15 going on 16? One or the other. I think I was 15 going on 16. And I came in the game and he was a manager of a barbershop. So some years went by, then actually that's where I got my footing. So it was like 9 years we were there, something like that. From 95, let's say I was there from 95 to 2001. So I built my clientele in that time period. That's when I came to the game. And then we said we're about to open up our own. And we opened up the shop, told everybody, gave them like 2 weeks, about to be moving, about to open up our shop. We get there, and people would expect all your customers to show up just like you were at the other spot. Didn't happen like that. So we like, Dad, where everybody at? And it took a couple like months for it to kick in. So niggas got bills. You feel me? So it's like you got to have some faith. But the thing is, it's like I know I'm nasty. I know jokers rock with me. I know Jokers rock with my pop heavy. So it's like, they coming. Don't worry about it. They coming.
Yeah.
And that's all we used to just, me and my pop, be nobody there. We like twiddling our thumbs, watching TV, walking past each other all day. Like, yo, hey, now and then we look at each other. They coming. They coming. So you gotta believe.
Mm.
And I believe in myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I believe in myself. So I don't really know how to put it. You gotta believe, damn it. Nah, and you know what? It's, I don't even know where that came from, to really be honest. Maybe it was sports, because I was good at sports. So you know how you good at sports, you kind of got a little swag about you. The cheerleader spelling your name out on the sideline and all that. You feel me? Like, that was my life. So I can't, maybe that helped. I think sports do help your confidence as a kid, and then that spills over to adulthood, you know what I mean? So I have nothing against sports, but as far as trying to use it as your only plan, that's a whole nother conversation. But you just gotta believe, man. You gotta believe. And recently, um, it's, you know, I'm reading this, and a whole lot of stuff is coming full circle that I just didn't really understand. I knew it was there. Like, yo, why you just know? Like, what is this about? I be questioning myself, like, yo, why you so like, what's up with you, fam? And I'm starting to come to terms with, like, yo, we are like divine creatures, man. Like, we think we're out what we see. Like, no, you're on the inside.
Yeah.
You're not that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's when you get in contact with that, that the outside just start just going bananas.
Yep.
And people wondering, like, yo, why the hell is he doing all that? Because it's not that person you see. It's the thing that's on the inside that's activated.
Mm.
That's consciously activated.
Okay, you is preaching today.
That that person, that thing that you think is, no, that knows that what's on the inside is doing the damn thing. So if you're connected with that and you know that's you, I think that's when the top comes off on your limits.
Mm.
I think that's when you start seeing this person do some shit. You like, damn, how you keep doing this stuff? It's because that person is in tune with something. And we all have it. We just don't, we haven't tapped into it. When people say tap into, you got to unpack that word tap in. Tap into that. They have to realize that that's who they are. You're not this body. So a lot of things will start coming in a different perspective once you understand that about you. And then that's when that belief can be astronomical. So like, it's like, you know, I knew it was something, but I didn't know it was. I'm like, I'm about to.
Okay.
What? Watch this.
Right.
So I'm tapped into that, and I believe that's where a lot of us fall short, because we're not tapped into that. We think we're this person.
See, okay, so now I have to jump in real quick.
So all my questions, forget the questions.
Right. No,
we next level with it. Hold on.
Yeah. I wasn't ready.
Wisdom. No, I was gonna say, well, first of all, listen, you dropped hella bars, hella one-liners, but the most important thing that I feel like I just really resonated with, and you speaking right now, was understanding who you are on the inside, like understanding that what you do, the activity that you put in out, all of this physicality, the physical things that you're doing, they're all a result from what you thought about. You know what I'm saying? From what you, I give all my blessings to God because that's who gave it to me. So I give it right on back to him. So I thank God for everything that he put in me. But, you know, for some people really struggle. Some people really struggle with tapping in. Some people really struggle with understanding who they are, recognizing what their, you know, purpose is, and, you know, being more intentional about the activities or the environment or the things that they contribute or be a part of because of that. So technically, I have a two-part question for you. So the first part is, you know, I think you shared a lot of what belief in yourself has gotten you. Can you share a little bit, or maybe like at least a story of when you felt defeated and how, you know, you overcame that? Because a lot of people can't see out the trenches. You clearly can.
So that's a good question.
I need to know.
How did I see light in the tunnel?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Or a moment of darkness and I see myself out of it? Moment of darkness was my situation. I had just, like, while I was in college, I graduated in 2017. And when I was in college, I was straddling the fence, making ends meet, and caught a charge or whatever. And mind you, I've been in college 9 years at this point, because the program I was going to, not to get off track, but the program I was in, I couldn't go full time. So I was going part time. So that's why it took 9 years. But during the course of that, right at the end, I caught a charge, and it just was devastating because now, like, in order to take the test to get certified, like, I was able to get my degree, but in order to get certified in my field, they was doing all these background checks, and I'm like, fuck. So, you know, I was talking to a couple white people on my clinical site because I was going for radiology science to be an X-ray technician. Mm-hmm. So 2 years of that training, you have to actually do a year in one hospital clinical rotation and do another year in another hospital clinical rotation. So the second year, it was like a different environment. My first year, I was in Trenton Trauma Center. So that was us and everything that us entails. And the second year, I was in the richest county in New Jersey, which is Hunterdon County.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I was at that hospital. So the environment is totally different. So I'm walking around with one of the clinical instructors, white guy, and I'm telling him, he's like, yo, man, we kind of had a rapport. So I'm telling him my situation to a degree. I'm like, yo, man, drug charge. Man, I don't know if I'm able to take the test. He's like, man, don't worry about that, man. I had a cocaine charge on mine.
Okay.
I'm like, oh. But I mean, you know, he got the complexion for the connection too. So, you know, I'm pretty sure that varies. But I'm like, all right, he still kind of gave me some hope. But I was like, man, I'm gonna have to start looking for another way out. Because my whole thing was I always wanted to be a business owner. Like, that's all I've been doing. But I wanted to take it a step further than my dad. I'm like, I want more than a barbershop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this barbershop money, I'm going to use this X-ray money, and I'm going to spearhead my movement. The hospital thing fell through because of the charges and all that. So I'm like, I'm on probation. They ain't trying to hire me right now. I don't even know if they was. I wasn't even trying to attempt it. I probably could have, but at this point, I'm kind of discouraged at the whole situation. So, I just started spinning out of control a little bit. That's when I started catching the DUIs. That's what landed me to 90 days in jail.
Mm.
Because now I'm like, I'm trying to figure it out. I created Rappin Dough in 2019. So that was one of the things I'm like, you know what, I'm about to start doing something. Um, but I had to sit down myself. It was that time in the house, um, just reflecting on my situation and how I wanted to impact the world. So, my whole barbershop career, everybody know me for where the party at, where the girls at. And it's like, I want to go out. I want my story to be deeper than that. Um, that was some of the themes I came up with while I was sitting. I'm like, man, I don't want to go out and only thing they knew about Don was, oh, he had all the girls, or he knew where all the parties was. I ain't want that to be my story. So I said, how could I impact the world? What skill sets do I have that I can contribute? Because on top of that, I started seeing the way that social media was going. Everybody posting selfies, posting their shit. Look at what I got. And I didn't want to, I started to feel myself going down that rabbit hole. And I'm like, nah, I'm different. Like I started feeling the way about, I'm like, nah, I'm not trying to blend in with these folks doing the same shit they doing. I said, what could I make my page about? What could I post about? I said, shit, I'm a business owner. I'm gonna start talking about business. What am I gonna call it? So that's when I started brainstorming rapping. I came up with Rappin Dough. So I think it was sitting home by myself and actually purposely wanting to know where can I impact the world. That takes some self-reflection though, and you'd be surprised how many people can sit with themselves. Some people just gotta be around people. Like they say, 15% of the population meditate.
That's it.
15% of the population. So that means the other 85% can't close their eyes for 5 minutes and be in the moment, 10 minutes. So if only 15% can do that, that means the other 85% are just totally distracted with life or whatever it is. So you have to consciously, once again, you have to purposefully put yourself, well, my shit, I didn't purposefully do it, but sometimes, them hard situations be gifts in disguise. You feel me? And that's what that turned out to be, because I sat my ass down. And, that's why people go to jail and come home different, because they had time to sit down and self-reflect. And there should be a jewel in that for people. Like, yeah, they come home different because they had a lot of time to sit down and really think about who they are. So they come out different. But meanwhile, that might be the real them that comes out.
That's good, yeah.
They was around y'all trying to appease what you thought they should be the whole time. When they got away from you, they found themselves.
That's a bar.
I don't know what y'all bringing it out of me today. I don't know what y'all doing.
That's good. I mean, that's really good, because it is a struggle, because it's not that everyone is so surface level. It's, as time goes on, it's so much stimulation. Social media and technology is always in your face. You feel like you have to be tapped in. If you're not tapped in, you miss the bus. So it perpetuates that in our society. And even as business owners, we have our hands in so many things. And then it's also the society that we're in. It has this air of lack all the time. You never have enough. You got to catch up. So just to sit still for 10 seconds and reflect on yourself, you're wasting time. That's unfortunate that people see it that way, versus you are filling yourself back up. You're re-upping. And so I think some of this conversation is going to go over a lot of people's heads.
That's
Because
okay.
it's not
They
the
can be
way
able to
people
watch
think.
it.
Okay.
They can be able to watch it later and get it, because it's purposeful. Yes, all this stuff is going on, but you have to be on purpose. You know what's going on, so you have to purposefully turn it off.
Mm.
Purposefully sit your ass down. This is my meditation time.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get into a habit of getting in tune with that person, the real you, you're going to realize you got everything, because you're going to start seeing it. When you come up from out of it, you got it. It's coming. I'm never in a rush. I know it's coming. I'll be in traffic just as jokers be flying by me. I'll be like, yo, y'all tripping. Where y'all going? and we end up at the same red light anyway. And I'll just be like, you could have just chilled like me.
Nah, that's so underestimated, because I've experienced that. I've experienced being a person in a car going around the other cars. Now I gotta hit this red light. Now I'm pissed off, and the person that I just zoom around, them niggas pull up next to me like, "You done?" And I just feel foolish after. But it's like sometimes we really need to. I came from like a medical background, so they call it like practicing the pause, like intentionally stopping, taking a couple seconds before. It's really for decision making and impulsiveness, but it really can be in like anything. And I love how you just are really honing in, doubling down, 10 toes down, and taking the time to really reflect and understand who you are as a person. Because what we see now that is lacked almost everywhere, and why platforms like TikTok and, certain people get on so quickly, is because they're tapping into themselves. They're understanding what their individuality and authenticity looks like, and understanding that the value that they naturally bring from who their parents are, how they was brought up, what they experienced, what they learned on their own, what they learned about themselves. All of that is a contribution to the world. Right. And it's all about how you want to contribute to the world. So I just want you to talk just a little bit more about just you as a person, like your level of authenticity. You know what I'm saying? Like we brought you onto this. We experienced you in the mastermind, right? Like every other day, a couple of times a week, and we love it. We love Don Bucks. Okay.
Hey, listen, man. my filter been on I don't give a fuck for a long time. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I don't know if it goes back to the sports thing or not. Because I think that's why I got kicked out of Catholic school in 8th grade, or one of the reasons. I'll say one of the reasons, because I didn't wear my tie, but it wasn't on purpose. But this is what she thought. So I guess I gave off that aura to her. Like I walk around like whatever, like, oh, you think you, because that's what she said to me. Oh, you think you're this. And mind you, I'm in 8th grade. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, so I just don't care what people gotta say about me. Mm-hmm. I don't, because it's like they're gonna talk about you anyway. People are gonna talk about you whether you're doing good, whether you're doing bad, whether you're handsome, whether you're ugly. People are gonna talk about you anyway. So why would I put so much attention on doing what you think is okay? I just never put that much, I never invested that much into what people thought about me. So I always did me. So that's why you see me smoking weed in the meeting. I don't care. What you gonna do? Kick me out? I've been kicked out of places. I don't care. And I'm still, you know what I mean? Stuff is still gonna keep going. Like I probably need to, might need to shine it up a little bit, but I don't be caring. So people be caring too much. And they be thinking other people care. People don't care at the end of the day. They might talk about you, but they don't care that much. They don't care that much. So all that trying to be somebody else, um, yeah, it just it's futile because people, like she said, they see right through it. So why try to be somebody else? Like whatever you are, be it. It's dope in your own right. Why try to be her dope? Or why you try to be her dope? Like, no, you be your dope. Yeah. And that's dope enough. So I felt a long time ago that my dope was just dope enough and probably even doper. So that's how I carry it. Like that's how I carry it. I can't really base it on one specific thing. It's just that, and that's what I bring to the table. I just don't care.
I think that sets you apart from most. I think that sets you apart from most people because a lot of entrepreneurs, you look at whatever the gold standard is and you chase after that, and sometimes it stagnates people because they see someone doing something similar, so they either feel encouraged or they feel like they copied or that whatever it is. It's a lot of comparison that can paralyze people. And so for you, you say you don't care. So what unique factors or characteristics do you bring to the marketplace for like with your brand, your business? What is it that you bring that even though you're dope in your own right, like we all are, what do you know? Because everybody has their own individuality. Everyone doesn't always showcase that out of fear for whatever their reasons are, not thinking that what they have, their uniqueness is enough. Clearly, you feel different. So what is it you bring?
Well, if people don't know, I'm a student of Todd Capital. So I took his course in 2020 and learned stock options. So if people don't know Todd Capital, or if you do know Todd Capital, you know him and I is a total, I ain't gonna say night and day, but the way he is and the way I am, he's a little bit more polished than me. Let me just say that. But it's interesting because we got the same birthday. Ain't that something?
Oh, I didn't know that.
What's the chances of that? Right. Yeah. So I believe I'm able to take information, assimilate it, master it, and I believe I'm able to convey it in a more layman's way. I believe that's my unique skill set because I've heard more than twice, more than 3 times that the way I explain things is just really straight to the point. Like, all the big words, even though big words are good, but in the beginning, you might need it simplified. And I believe I present things the way I receive them. And I think that's my superpower.
Yeah, that's a great unique value proposition. It's perfect. That's the whole point. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Yes, exactly. So like the basis why we really kind of created this podcast, this platform, is to help entrepreneurs reframe the limitations of their mind. So we would love to know what are some of the tools in your toolkit that will help some other people just really reframe those limitations, because a lot of the times what's stopping us is us, when we're not realizing what powers us is also us. So it's a weird, two-sided coin that once you flip it over to the other side, you harness your power in a different type of way. But what are some tools that you can think of that can kind of help people with that transition, with that switch?
Tools. Books.
Ooh, there we go.
Books.
Yeah.
You need to read.
Wait, what book you reading right now, Don? What book you reading?
I'm reading like 10 books right now. I'm reading Limitless. That's the one that's at the top of my head right now. Limitless. Okay. So yeah, grab a hold of Limitless. But yeah, in school, like I said, back to that school thing, it wasn't a thing to do, even though you probably could and do it well. in the public school. But for some reason, the peer pressure is to not show that you know how to read and do all these things. So now in adulthood, that that's a fallacy, that that's not productive to try to be cool in that way. Read now, and not just the hood books. I'm talking about some stuff that can actually help you. Like goes back to the intentionality piece. Again, we have to be intentional. You want to be smarter, go get smarter. I wanted to learn how to skate. I'm not going to be able to learn how to skate. I want to learn. I want to learn. All right. Where you been? I've been in the house. No. So you have to match with your wants with your actions.
Yes.
There's a disconnect there. People want, I forgot who said it, I think I forgot Mongol dude name, but I heard him say, people want to be a millionaire, but you got minimum wage work ethic. So you can't be wanting stuff and not putting any intentionality behind it. So my tools are, I want to be a dope trader. How do you become a dope trader? You study your craft. You practice your craft, right? I want to be a dope business owner. How you become a dope business owner? You get around other dope business owners. You read what dope other business owners do, and then you start doing what they do. But it all circles back to intentionality. If you really want something, let us see your actions. Whether it doesn't have to be big actions, it can just be reading one chapter today. But these small things build momentum in that direction. But people want to get all the way here first and negate the little steps, the little bite-sized pieces in the middle. It's the bite-sized pieces that builds the momentum and the confidence that you acquire as you go along, right? And then they wonder how this person got there. It's like, yo, nah, they took all these bite-sized piece steps and built confidence and knowledge and more confidence. And now they this person. It's not like they started here. But people, it's this piece. It's this piece that people don't, I ain't gonna say they don't, but they are, it's not sexy. This part is not sexy. So that's why I was like, you know what? Even in my first ebook that I wrote, like before I even got to any how to, I was heavy mindset. Because you it's the mindset that has to be right before you can even grasp the concepts. How do you get the mindset? You gotta want the shit. You gotta want it. Because then the mindset will come, all right, now your mindset, you want it bad enough. My situation, prime example, I was facing 90 days in jail. No income, this pandemic. I gotta figure this out. How the hell am I gonna pay my bills for 3 months? I needed to learn options. That was like, I need to learn it. So guess what? The motivation was hella there.
I bet. But it's true.
You dig. So people they're too comfortable. Or your reason ain't strong enough. Because let that reason be strong enough. Yo, your ass gonna be evicted. if you don't do X, Y, Z, you're going to do X, Y, Z. You're going to do it fast. So you have to have some type of strong reason, right? Because if you don't have a strong reason, you're not going to want to acquire the mindset, which is going to, all the other stuff. So I think, all right, let's back it up. You need to have a strong why. Strong why fuels everything else. But how do you get the why? You got to sit down with yourself. Not too many people willing to sit down with themselves. So it's uphill. It's a challenge we got here. You know what I'm saying?
It is. It's true. No, but we're so happy that you did, because it shows in the way that you show up. It shows in the way that you convey the information. It shows in a way that you are so passionate about people, learning financial literacy and just understanding that they have other options from where they came from. They can always change their situation, their circumstance, and sometimes their circumstance fuels them to get into a better situation. So, people to know where to find you. Where can we find you?
Listen, man. Oh man, y'all can get at me at the real Rappin Dough at gmail.com. Definitely follow me on Instagram at Rappin_Dough. That's RIPPINDOUGH, underscore in the middle. Also, if people, where's my workbook at? Got it around here. I just released a workbook. Me and Todd Cap did a boot camp not too long ago, and here we go. And we gave the students a workbook. That goes with the boot camp, so they can hammer home the concept. So that's free. So if people want to access the free workbook, go to rappindough.org. That's www.rappindough.org. All you got to do is pay for shipping, and it's yours. It's going to hammer home everything we went over in the boot camp and give you all the necessary parameters you need to get started trading the options. So that's what's going on. What else? So it's pretty much Rappin Dough on every platform. Also, YouTube. Make sure you're tapping the YouTube, Rappin Dough on YouTube, Monday through Friday.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Don. You came on here. You dropped hella gems.
It's been an hour already.
I was about to say, we
passed an hour.
Yeah, we passed an hour. We done got introspective. We done really started to hone in on what is the changes we need to get from motherfucking here to there. So
that's crazy. I'm glad y'all pulled them gems out of me, because I don't know where they came from, to be honest.
It's already on the inside. Remember? It's in
on
there.
The inside.
You just gotta be in the right spaces around the right people.
It's in there. You're right.
And I learned that from you.
Okay. Environment.
Right, environment, exactly. Well, we appreciate you so much. Y'all better tap in with Rappin Dough with Don Bucks, his platform, his YouTube, Chief in Charts, the workbook. Do you guys have replays of the boot camp? Are you guys gonna run another boot camp?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that.
I do have replays of the boot camp. I'm not sure. I gotta ask Todd what he want to do. I definitely got them in the files. I've been hearing questions about running it back.
Come on now.
Yeah, stay tuned, man. Tap in and give me a follow, and you'll be kept abreast.
All right. Well, we are so grateful to have you. Like, this was more than I expected. Like, I am so full. I know when an episode is good is when I become a student and I abandon my questions. And I'm like, every time you say something, I'm stuck. Like, I know I gotta ask something, but let me process it.
Yeah, you tossed that notebook. Let me process it. Tossed that notebook a while ago. It's interesting how conversations flow like that.
That's right.
Just lose track of time. It's crazy.
Respect. Well, yes, Don, thank you so much for coming on, for blessing us with your gems, with your presence, with your energy and authenticity. We appreciate you so much. Corinne, you got any closing remarks?
Nope, nothing else over here. I'm just
The mic has been dropped.
That's it.
As
Thank
well.
y'all.
Yeah, we will check you guys out next Womenomics Wednesday. Thank you for checking in with the podcast. And as always, we is the platform for Soul Care for Entrepreneurs. Peace out, y'all.
Podcast.
Womenomics Podcast.
Womenomics Podcast.
Womenomics Podcast.
Womenomics Podcast.